Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. Today I want to take you on a thrilling journey into the world of the rare United States Lincoln wheat penny from 1941, a coin that looks simple on the surface but hides secrets that collectors and treasure hunters absolutely love. So stay with me till the last second, because I am going to reveal the uniqueness, the rarest errors, and the true original market value that this little copper beauty can bring in real auctions and real coin markets across the country, and you really do not want to miss a single moment of this story, because many collectors found valuable coins exactly like this by accident and changed their fortune in a heartbeat. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny comes from a time when the world was on the edge of war, money flowed through millions of hands, and yet a few special pieces survived with remarkable conditions and stunning mint errors that make them extremely desirable for serious collectors. And what makes this coin so fascinating is how, even after more than 80 years, some of these pennies still shine with that deep vintage copper glow that collectors adore. And when someone discovers a sharp-struck coin or an unexpected minting flaw, that same little penny becomes a treasure that people chase passionately at coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces with massive excitement. What truly makes some 1941 pennies rare and expensive are the unusual mint errors that slip through the minting machines. 4. Example: the doubled die obverse, where the date and letters appear slightly shadowed or doubled, creating a dramatic visual effect that collectors immediately recognize as premium material. And then there are off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to the side, giving the coin a bold and quirky look that instantly increases its value. And sometimes a coin comes with a clipped planchet or a die crack across Lincoln's portrait, which turns that coin into a standout piece that sparks bidding wars among collectors, because these mint errors do not just make a coin different, they make it truly unique. Another thing that adds thrill to the 1941 wheat penny is its grade and condition, because a coin that still carries its original mint luster, sharp details in Lincoln's beard, and crisp wheat stalks on the reverse becomes highly desirable. And when it reaches a professional grade of mint state, collectors start paying serious money purely for the beauty and preservation of the coin. And many of these gems have sold at coin shows in cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, Dallas, and Los Angeles, where collectors gather and compete to take home the best example of this historic penny. Now talking about the original market value of the rarest kinds of 1941 wheat pennies. A sharply struck mint state coin with no errors but perfect condition can easily reach the value of several hundreds of dollars in the market, and rare error varieties like double dies or off-center strikes have even crossed the value of $1,000 in live auctions, with some pieces selling for over $2,000 in big coin events where veteran collectors know exactly what they are looking for. And this is why finding one in your pocket change or old piggy bank becomes a moment of pure excitement, because you might be holding something truly valuable without even realizing it. For collectors who are searching or starting their journey, one simple tip is to always check the date carefully, because the 1941 year has many varieties worth studying. And another great tip is to inspect the coin under good lighting or with a magnifier, because the best treasures reveal themselves only when you pay attention to tiny details like doubled letters, off-center strikes, or cracks on the coin's surface. And also make sure you protect your valuable pennies in holders or pouches, because the better the condition, the higher the price you can get in the market. And if you are thinking about selling, go to trusted dealers or well-known auction houses, where rare coins always attract serious buyers who appreciate the beauty of historic coins. The beauty of collecting the 1941 wheat penny is that every coin has a story behind it, and every collector is chasing a piece of American history. And the thrill is real, because you never know when you might come across an error coin or a perfectly preserved piece that has the power to surprise you with its true market worth. And that feeling of discovery is what brings millions of collectors together and keeps this coin high in demand even today. In the end, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a copper coin. It is a symbol of history, rarity, excitement, and the unpredictable joy of finding something valuable in the most unexpected places. And if you ever come across one, treat it with respect, study it carefully, and never rush to sell it, because sometimes the smallest coin tells the biggest story and carries value far beyond its size. And that is the true magic of coin collecting that continues to inspire and thrill people across the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rarity, value, and beauty of the 1941 wheat penny, make sure you keep exploring your old collections and stay curious, because your next great discovery might be waiting just around the corner. Coin number 2. I want you to sit back, relax, and listen closely, because I am about to take you into the fascinating world of the rare United States Lincoln wheat penny from 1956. A year that seems ordinary to many people but hides some incredible surprises for collectors who know exactly what to look for. And if you are a coin lover or someone who dreams of finding a rare piece in pocket change or an old box at home, then this video will keep you locked in from the first moment to the very end. Because the uniqueness and the rarity of certain 1956 coins can suddenly turn an everyday penny into an exciting treasure that makes your heart beat faster with every detail you discover. The 1956 wheat penny might appear common at first glance, but the truth is that some pieces from this year were struck with unexpected minting issues that turned them into hidden gems in the world of numismatics. And when you start learning about these special varieties, you begin to understand why collectors hunt them with such passion and excitement, because once in a while a coin appears with a rare die crack stretching across Lincoln's portrait, or a dramatic off-center strike that gives the coin a bold and eye-catching shape that instantly increases its desirability and makes collectors compete for it in big auctions across cities like Philadelphia, New York, Las Vegas, and Chicago, where rare pennies often grab attention as soon as they appear on the table. One of the most thrilling things about the 1956 penny is the famous double die varieties that show slight doubling on the lettering or the date, which is something collectors absolutely love because it shows a clear and undeniable minting anomaly that happened more than 60 years ago and survived time untouched. And when a coin lover sees the doubling under good lighting, the excitement is real because the value jumps immediately and the coin becomes a conversation piece that every collector dreams of owning, especially if the condition is sharp and the original copper shine is still glowing like it was freshly minted. Another factor that makes this year so fascinating is how many beautiful high-grade coins have been found in old collections where the copper tone remained rich and the wheat stalks on the reverse stayed crisp and detailed. And when such a coin receives a high professional grade like mint state, it moves into a completely different league where collectors are willing to pay impressive prices just to get their hands on a stunning example. And many of these high-grade 1956 pennies have been seen selling in coin shows in cities like Dallas and Phoenix, where the bidding energy gets intense and people love the thrill of chasing a perfect piece of American history. Collectors often say that the 1956 wheat penny is one of those coins that teaches you patience and attention because the hidden details are what truly transform its value. And that is why searching through old rolls or coin jars becomes a treasure hunt full of excitement, since you never know if the next coin you pull out might have a die crack, a clipped planchet, a misaligned die, or a double detail waiting to surprise you. And this thrill of discovery is exactly what keeps millions of collectors hooked and constantly searching for rare copper beauties like this. If you are a collector or planning to start your journey, then let me share something important with you, because tips can make all the difference in finding truly valuable coins. And the first tip is to never rush when examining a wheat penny, since the rare features of 1956 often hide in tiny imperfections. So look carefully at Lincoln's eye, at the date, at the letters, and at the wheat lines on the back, because every small detail tells a story. And another tip is to make sure you store your coins properly, because copper reacts to the environment, and keeping your rare finds safe and clean ensures that you get the highest possible value when you finally decide to sell or trade it. And always remember to get real offers from trusted dealers or established auction platforms instead of random buyers, because rare coins shine brightest when real collectors are looking at them. Collectors love 1956 wheat pennies because every time you hold one, you are holding a piece of pure American history, and you are holding a coin that has traveled through decades before reaching your hands. And the thrill of discovering a rare error or a beautifully preserved piece brings a feeling that can only be understood by someone who truly loves coins. And that is why this penny remains in high demand and continues to be one of the most searched and talked about years among collectors who appreciate copper coins with deep storytelling value and potential profit. Now let's talk about the original market value of the rarest 1956 wheat pennies, because some of the nicest examples have sold for prices that surprise new collectors and inspire treasure hunters. And a beautifully preserved high-grade coin has sold in the market for the value of several hundreds of dollars, while dramatic error pieces like strong double dies or bold off-center strikes have reached the value of more than $1,000 in real auction events where professional collectors gathered and competed passionately to win these special coins. And this is exactly why finding one can feel like discovering a small fortune. The beauty of the rare 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is that it never loses its charm and it never loses its historic energy. And every collector who finds one feels a connection to the era it comes from and the joy of discovering something rare and valuable that survived decades untouched. And that feeling is priceless and unforgettable. So if you ever come across a 1956 wheat penny, do not ignore it, do not spend it quickly, and do not assume it is just another old coin, because it might be holding a secret that only your eyes will discover, and the value might surprise you in a way you never imagined. And that is the beauty of coin collecting. Every little moment can turn into a big discovery if your eyes are open and your curiosity is alive. Thank you for joining me on this thrilling journey into the world of the rare 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, and keep searching your coins because the universe always hides treasures for those who love looking for them. Coin number 3. I want you to feel that same thrill because we are diving deep into the story of the United States Lincoln wheat penny from 1946, a coin that may look simple at first glance but carries unique features, mint errors, and hidden value that collectors chase with serious passion. So stay with me till the end because every detail in this video can help you understand why certain pieces from this year have become favorites among coin lovers who know exactly what they are looking for. And trust me, you will not want to miss a single moment of this journey. The moment someone mentions the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny, most people imagine just another old copper coin from the post-war era, but collectors know better because this year holds some of the most fascinating varieties that slipped through the minting process and survived untouched in drawers, jars, old albums, and even in pocket change. And what makes the 1946 penny stand out is how some pieces show dramatic imperfections like die cracks stretching across Lincoln's jacket or small breaks near the rim that create eye-catching patterns which collectors absolutely love because these natural minting flaws turn a regular penny into a unique piece of history that no other coin can exactly match. And that uniqueness is what drives collectors in cities like Philadelphia, Denver, Chicago, and Los Angeles to chase them at auctions and coin shows with incredible energy. One of the most exciting things you can discover in a 1946 penny is the famous doubled die varieties, where the date or letters appear slightly doubled, making the coin look bold and powerful under good lighting. And this type of error always catches collectors by surprise because when you finally notice that doubling, you instantly feel the thrill of knowing you might be holding something special. And if the coin also has strong luster, sharp details on Lincoln's hair, clean wheat lines on the reverse, and beautiful copper tone, then the value rises immediately, and that same little penny becomes a highly demanded piece that collectors cannot resist adding to their collection. There are also misaligned die strikes and off-center strikes from this year which make the coin look shifted or stretched in one direction, giving it an unusual and eye-catching appearance. And these rare varieties always attract attention from people who love collecting error coins because they represent a moment in history where the minting machines did something unexpected yet produced something beautiful and unique. And that is exactly why the 1946 wheat penny continues to grow in popularity even decades later, because collectors are always searching for pieces that carry a strong story along with market value. Another powerful point about the 1946 penny is how stunning high-grade examples still exist in collections. And when you see a coin from this year with full mint luster or brilliant uncirculated shine, you instantly feel respect for how well it was preserved. And these high-grade coins often sell in auctions and local coin events across cities like Dallas, Phoenix, Atlanta, and New York, where collectors compete fiercely to win a premium copper piece from the post-war era, because everyone knows how impressive it is to see a perfectly preserved wheat penny from 1946 glowing like it just left the mint yesterday. If you are a collector or someone just starting your journey in coin hunting, then this part is important for you, because discovering a rare 1946 penny takes patience and attention to the small details. And the first thing you should always check is the date and the surface carefully, because cracks, doubling, and minting flaws often hide in tiny corners. And another important tip is to study the wheat stalks on the reverse, because strong details there usually mean the coin has been preserved well and might carry more value. And always remember to protect your good finds in coin holders or plastic pouches, because copper reacts to air and moisture, and keeping your coin clean and safe is one of the biggest factors that boosts its selling price when you finally visit a dealer or an auction house. Now this is the moment collectors wait for, because the original market value of the rarest 1946 Lincoln wheat penny can be surprising, especially for coins with dramatic errors or exceptional condition. And beautifully preserved high-grade coins have sold in real markets for the value of several hundreds of dollars, while rare varieties like strong doubled dies or bold off-center strikes have crossed the value of more than $1,000 in major auctions, where experienced collectors compete for the best quality pieces. And knowing that a coin you once ignored or passed by could actually be worth that much transforms the entire experience of coin collecting into something thrilling and unforgettable. The beauty of the 1946 wheat penny is that it never stops surprising collectors, and every piece carries a story that connects the past to the present. And when you finally discover a rare error or a flawlessly preserved coin, you feel a moment of joy that only coin lovers can truly understand. And this emotional connection, combined with the potential market value, is what keeps this coin in high demand across the world and makes collectors constantly search for it with excitement and hope. So if you ever come across a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny, do not rush, do not ignore it, and definitely do not spend it without checking every little detail, because you might be holding a coin that carries history, rarity, and value far beyond its simple copper appearance. And that is the true magic of coin collecting, because sometimes the smallest coin makes the biggest impact and brings the biggest surprise. Thank you for joining me in this exciting journey through the world of the rare 1946 wheat penny, and remember to keep searching your jars, your pockets, your drawers, and your collections because treasures are always hiding in the most unexpected places. Coin number 4. We are diving into the world of the United States Lincoln wheat penny from 1942, a year that carries deep wartime energy and surprising minting mysteries that make this coin stand apart from ordinary pennies. So if you are a collector, a coin hunter, or someone who loves the idea of finding treasure in everyday places, then do not move for the next few minutes because every detail I am about to share will open your eyes to the uniqueness and rarity of this coin and the possibilities it carries for those who truly pay attention. The 1942 penny was minted during a time when America was preparing itself for one of the most intense periods in history, and because of this massive shift, many interesting things happened in the minting world, and some of the coins produced that year came out with extremely fascinating characteristics that collectors chase even today with great excitement. And what makes this penny so loved is how it blends history with unexpected mint errors that turn simple copper into something unique and valuable. And even now, coin shows in cities like Chicago, Denver, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and Dallas still see collectors competing for the rarest 1942 varieties with enthusiasm that feels electric in the room. One of the most thrilling varieties from this year is the doubled die obverse, where the date or letters appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a rich and powerful look under a magnifier. And when a collector spots the doubling, the energy changes instantly because that moment tells you that this coin is not just another wheat penny, it is something special, something that survived 8 decades and kept its unique flaw perfectly preserved for a new collector to discover and appreciate. And that genuine thrill is what makes this error highly desirable and always in demand. Another exciting feature of the 1942 penny is the strong die cracks that appear across Lincoln's portrait or near the rim, creating dramatic lines that give the coin a rugged, story-filled appearance. And collectors absolutely adore these natural minting imperfections because they show the exact moment where the minting die was wearing down, producing a unique strike that only a few coins received. And these tiny details are what turn a normal penny into a valuable collectible that sparks interest wherever it is shown, whether at auctions, trade shows, or local coin markets. There are also off-center strikes from this year where the design shifts towards one side, creating a bold and eye-catching shape that always attracts collectors because off-center coins carry so much personality. And when someone finds a 1942 off-center penny with clear date and strong details, they instantly know they found something that will catch attention in any collection. And this kind of error is especially popular among new collectors who want something special and different from the usual perfectly minted coins. And let's not forget the stunning high-grade examples of the 1942 penny that still exist today, preserved beautifully with original luster and rich copper glow. And when you hold such a high-quality piece in your hand, you can feel its timeless beauty and see why collectors in cities like Houston, Phoenix, Seattle, and Atlanta get excited when a seller shows them a perfectly preserved wheat penny from this year, because the shine, the details, and the condition bring life back into this coin like it never aged at all. Now, if you are someone who loves searching through jars, bags of old coins, or family collections, then let me give you some simple and powerful tips that will help you find rare 1942 wheat pennies, because these coins often hide their secrets in small details. And the first tip is to use good lighting and take your time, because doubling, cracks, and small mint flaws only reveal themselves when you are patient and focused. And the second tip is to always check the edges and rims of the coin, because many 1942 errors show themselves in slight misalignments or uneven edges that can easily turn a basic penny into a valuable collectible. And the third tip is to store your good finds in protective holders, because preserving the condition of copper coins is one of the most important ways to increase their value before selling them to serious collectors or taking them to auctions where high-grade coins always attract competitive offers. And now the moment collectors wait for, because the original market value of the rarest and highest quality 1942 wheat pennies can surprise many people, and beautifully preserved high-grade coins have sold for the value of several hundreds of dollars, while dramatic doubled die varieties or bold off-center errors have crossed the value of more than $1,000 in real auctions, where experienced collectors raise their bids with excitement, knowing the true rarity of the coin in front of them. And this is why finding a coin like this in your collection or pocket change feels like discovering a small treasure that connects you with history and rewards you at the same time. The beauty of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny lies not only in its age but in its character, its imperfections, its story, and its journey through history. And when you finally discover one that carries a special error or exceptional condition, you feel a sense of joy and pride that only a true collector understands. And that emotion is what keeps this coin in such high demand among collectors of all ages, and why the search for rare 1942 pennies continues with so much passion even today. So if you ever come across a 1942 wheat penny, do not rush, do not ignore it, and do not underestimate it, because you might be holding something rare, valuable, and historically meaningful in your hands, and that is the true beauty of coin collecting. Every small coin holds a big story, and sometimes that story leads you to a discovery that you will never forget. Thank you for being part of this exciting journey into the world of the rare 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, and keep searching your coins, because treasure is always waiting for the person who believes in the thrill of finding something extraordinary. Coin number 5. We are stepping into the world of the United States rare 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin full of history, surprises, and hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. And if you are a collector, a coin hunter, or someone who simply loves the thrill of finding something extraordinary in a simple copper coin, then don't blink for a second, because the details I'm about to share can open your eyes to the true beauty and rarity of this coin, and trust me, you do not want to miss even a single moment of this story, because every second brings something new and thrilling. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny may look like just another old coin floating around in jars and drawers, but once you start understanding the fascinating mint errors and varieties that came out of this year, everything changes, because this is one of those years where unexpected details slipped through the mint presses and turned ordinary copper into rare collectibles that coin lovers still chase today with real passion and excitement. And this is why you see collectors in cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, and Denver getting fired up when a seller pulls out a unique 1953 variety at an auction table, because they know these coins can carry history, beauty, and value all at once. One of the highlights that makes the 1953 penny so exciting is the doubled die varieties, where the letters in Liberty, the date, or even parts of the motto appear doubled in subtle but powerful ways. And the moment a collector sees that doubling under good lighting, the entire experience changes, because that small detail transforms this little penny into a rare minting treasure. And collectors adore these coins because each doubled die carries its own character and tells its own story, making it a coin worth owning, displaying, and talking about with pride. Another thrill that collectors chase from the 1953 year is the dramatic die cracks that run across Lincoln's portrait or near the rim, creating sharp raised lines that catch the light in a beautiful way. And these natural minting flaws are loved by collectors because they create personality, uniqueness, and historic value in a coin that would otherwise look completely normal. And these cracked die pennies have been seen selling in different markets, from small local shows in Phoenix to big auctions in New York, where collectors raise their paddles fast when they spot a strong, clean error from this year. And then you have off-center strikes, one of the most eye-catching varieties that collectors adore, because the design shifts in a clear direction, leaving empty space on the planchet, which creates a very bold, unusual appearance. And when you find a 1953 penny with a strong off-center strike and a visible date, you instantly know you have something special, because these coins get attention anywhere from coin shops to online auctions, and they always create excitement among collectors who love rare and unusual minting mistakes. Now let's talk about high-grade 1953 pennies, because these coins in brilliant uncirculated condition are absolute beauties, with deep copper shine and sharp details on Lincoln's hair, jacket, beard, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. And when you see one of these sparkling examples in your hand, you feel the energy of the past and the pride of the collector who cared for it. And that is why high-grade coins from this year sell fast at shows and events in places like Seattle, Miami, Atlanta, and Las Vegas, because collectors know that a stunning copper piece from 1953 is becoming harder and harder to find. If you love collecting or want to start your journey, then listen carefully, because these tips will help you discover the rarest 1953 wheat pennies. And the first thing you should always do is check the date and the lettering slowly and patiently, because doubling and small mint errors hide in tiny details that you can only catch when you truly focus. And the second tip is to always examine the rims and edges, because clipped planchet and misaligned die errors often reveal themselves there, and these small imperfections can raise the value quickly when the coin is in good condition. And the third tip is to protect your best finds immediately, because copper reacts to air and humidity, and keeping your coins in safe holders will preserve their beauty and boost their value when you show them to dealers or take them to an auction where serious collectors look for well cared for pieces. Now the moment every collector waits for, because the original market value of the rarest and highest quality 1953 wheat pennies has surprised many coin hunters, and beautifully preserved high-grade pieces have sold for the value of several hundreds of dollars, while rare double die varieties or strong off-center errors from this year have crossed the value of more than $1,000 in real auction events, where collectors compete fiercely to win these special copper treasures. And knowing that a simple penny from 1953 can carry this kind of value makes the hunt even more exciting and meaningful. The true charm of the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is that it never loses its ability to surprise collectors, and every piece carries a story from the early 50s, a time when the world was changing fast and America was entering a new era, and holding such a coin feels like carrying a tiny piece of history in your hand, and that emotional connection combined with the potential market value keeps collectors searching for this coin with passion and dedication. So if you ever come across a 1953 wheat penny, don't rush past it and don't assume it has no value, because you might be holding a coin with hidden rarity, beauty, history, and potential worth that could surprise you in ways you never imagined. And that is the real magic of coin collecting, because every small coin can become a big discovery when you look closely and believe in the thrill of the hunt. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey into the world of the rare 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, and remember to keep searching your pockets, drawers, jars, and old family collections, because treasures are always waiting for the person who truly enjoys the thrill of finding something extraordinary. Coin number 6. Lincoln wheat penny. Something thrilling awakens inside every collector, because this single year carries one of the most unbelievable stories in American coin history. And today I want you to listen carefully, because what I am about to share with you is not just information but a journey into the rarest mistakes and the hidden treasures that have turned this simple 1-cent coin into a dream find for collectors across the world. So stay with me and don't miss even 1 second, because every detail I tell you can change how you look at your pocket change forever. The uniqueness of the 1944 penny begins with the fact that America had just come out of using steel cents during the war, and as the mint switched back to copper, something unexpected happened, something so accidental yet so powerful that it created one of the rarest error coins the hobby has ever seen. And that is where the thrill truly begins, because the mint accidentally struck a few pennies on leftover steel planchets from the previous year, and these steel versions of the 1944 penny are the ones that have captured the imagination of collectors for generations, making them chase every coin roll, every estate box, and every old jar in hopes of discovering that magical silver-colored cent shining like a hidden treasure. When you hold a regular 1944 wheat penny, it already feels historic because it carries the story of America's wartime shift back to copper. But when you come across one with strong minting errors like doubled lettering, weak strikes, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies, you instantly feel that rush every collector dreams of, because these little mistakes are what transform a simple penny into something rare, something valuable, something that stands out in auctions and private collections. And serious collectors always say that the beauty of this coin lies in the fact that it rewards the people who take time to look deeper. The steel version of this coin, however, is in a league of its own, and if you ever see a 1944 penny that looks silver or gray, don't ignore it even for a moment, because that may be one of the rarest coins ever to slip out of the mint. And the excitement around this coin is so strong that collectors from cities like Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia have traveled to shows just to examine one in person, because seeing it with your own eyes feels like holding a piece of minting mystery that should not even exist yet somehow survived all these decades in circulation. For collectors who are new to treasure hunting, I want to share some powerful tips, because you never know when luck may strike. So always test your 1944 pennies with a magnet, because a normal copper one won't react, but the rare steel version will immediately pull toward the magnet. And this simple trick has helped many beginners find coins worth life-changing amounts. So keep a magnet in your pocket and check every coin that feels suspiciously light or shiny, because fortune favors the people who stay prepared. Another important thing you must pay attention to is the mint mark, because the 1944 pennies from Denver or San Francisco sometimes show wonderful little errors like repunched mint marks or slightly doubled numbers on the date, and these small details can increase the value more than people expect. And experienced collectors always say that patience is your greatest tool, because the more you study your coins, the more you start seeing things that ordinary people never even notice. As we reach the end of this journey, I want you to imagine finding one of these coins in your own home, maybe in an old family saving jar, maybe in a small bag of coins from a market, maybe in a collection someone gifted you. And the moment you notice an error or a steel composition, your heart starts beating faster, because you suddenly realize you are holding a treasure that survived from the war years all the way to your hands today. And that feeling is what keeps this hobby alive, because coins like the 1944 wheat penny are not just metal, they are moments in time filled with history, mystery, and enormous collector demand that gets stronger every single year. And now the part that everyone waits for, the original market value price for the rare 1944 steel wheat penny, because when this treasure appears in big auctions in cities like New York or Dallas, it has been sold for as much as $200,000, in words $200,000 depending on its condition. And that is why this coin remains one of the most hunted treasures in American numismatics. Coin number 7. The moment we speak about the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, something exciting lights up inside every collector, because this coin may look simple at first glance, but the hidden rarity behind certain Denver minted pieces has made this year one of the most surprising and rewarding for coin hunters across America. And today I want you to listen closely, because every line of this story holds a clue that can help you recognize a treasure hiding right in front of you. So do not miss even a Second of what I'm about to share with you, because this journey is packed with thrill, uniqueness, and real value that many people still overlook even today. The 1951 D penny carries a special charm because it represents the post-war era where minting was strong, yet tiny unexpected errors slipped into circulation, and these little mistakes are exactly what transformed ordinary seeming coins into rare collectibles that catch huge attention in markets, auctions, and private collections. And the Denver Mint in particular is known for producing some of the most fascinating repunched mint marks, doubling errors, and subtle die variations that collectors absolutely love to chase because they know that these variations bring real value and rarity that the general public never notices until someone with a sharp collector's eye identifies them. When you pick up a 1951 D penny, the first thing many collectors check is the mint mark, because Denver coins from this year show some beautiful repunched mint mark varieties where the letter D appears slightly doubled, shifted, or stamped more than once, and these tiny details can turn an ordinary 1 cent into a valuable prize. And the thrill of spotting one of these RPM varieties is something every collector remembers because it feels like uncovering a hidden signature from the mint itself, a mistake preserved forever on metal that tells its own unique story. But the excitement doesn't stop with the mint mark, because this year also produced coins with strong die cracks, die chips, weak strikes, and even slightly misaligned dies, and all these small imperfections create a charm that collectors adore. And the beauty of these errors is that they happen naturally during the minting process, making each one a genuine piece of history rather than something artificially created, and that authenticity is what keeps the demand high, especially in coin shows in cities like Phoenix, Denver, Chicago, and Houston, where collectors gather to display and buy these fascinating pieces with pride and passion. For collectors who love the thrill of the hunt, this coin offers endless opportunities, and I want to share something important because many people overlook the condition of 1951 D pennies, but the truth is that some pieces survived in unexpectedly brilliant shape with sharp lines, glowing wheat stalks, and clean strikes. And if you ever come across one in high grade, your heart will immediately feel that spark that tells you this penny is different, this penny deserves attention, this penny may be the treasure you've been waiting for, because high-grade examples from the Denver Mint remain in strong demand among advanced collectors all over America. And here is something every new collector should always keep in mind: if you want to find valuable coins, always examine your 1951 D pennies under a simple magnifying glass, because you will be amazed at how many small mistakes reveal themselves only under closer inspection. And this little habit has helped thousands of collectors identify repunched mint marks, double digits, tiny cracks around Lincoln's coat, or even chips on the wheat stalks. And these tiny details are exactly what bring excitement and value to this beloved coin. So make examining every detail your everyday routine, because the penny you overlook today might be the treasure someone else finds tomorrow. As we reach the final part of this journey, imagine discovering one of these rare varieties in your home, maybe in an old wooden box, maybe in a jar passed down from family, maybe in a simple batch of coins purchased from a flea market in Dallas or a small antique shop in Kansas City. And the moment you spot a doubled mint mark or a clean uncirculated surface, your excitement jumps, because now you know that you are holding a piece of American minting history that survived more than 70 years and still carries the power to surprise collectors and reward the lucky finder with real value and unforgettable pride. And now the part everyone waits for: the original market value price for the rare, high-grade, and valuable varieties of the 1951 D wheat penny. And at major auctions in cities like Baltimore and Los Angeles, these coins in top condition have been sold for as much as $3,000, in words $3,000, depending on their grade, rarity, and error features. Coin number 8. The moment the 1957 D Lincoln wheat penny enters the conversation, something exciting stirs inside every collector, because this coin marks the final years of the iconic wheat design, and the Denver Mint in that era produced some of the most fascinating errors and hidden varieties that make this specific year incredibly thrilling for treasure hunters. And today I want you to stay with me from start to end, because the story I'm about to unfold holds surprises that many collectors still don't know, and you might discover that the penny you've ignored for years could actually hold rare features that transform it from ordinary to extraordinary. There is a strange magic surrounding the 1957 D penny, because at first glance it looks like a simple copper cent that millions of people used in everyday life. But what collectors know is that this year from the Denver Mint contains some of the cleanest RPM errors ever seen, where the mint mark D appears doubled, repunched, or slightly shifted. And the moment you spot that tiny doubling, you feel that rush that every collector dreams of, because suddenly your 1 cent turns into a sought-after collectible that coin buyers and auction houses love to compete for. But the journey gets even more exciting when you learn about the dramatic die chips, die cracks, and misaligned strikes that appear in this year, because they create beautiful natural errors that collectors treasure like art pieces, and these flaws make Each coin feels unique, almost like every penny carries its own personality, its own history, its own story carved in metal, and that emotional connection is what makes the 1957 Dewey penny one of the most enjoyable coins to study and hunt. In coin shows in cities like Denver, San Diego, Memphis, and Orlando still see collectors proudly showing their special error pieces with glowing smiles. Many collectors often say that the fun of this coin is that you never know what you might find. Because some pennies reveal strong doubling on the date or on the letters in the word Liberty, while others show raised metal bumps on Lincoln's coat or around the wheat stalks, and these little details are what transform a casual search into an exciting treasure hunt. And every time you pick up a 1957 D penny, the thrill is real, because you could be holding a coin that carries an error no one else has noticed yet, and that mystery keeps the heart of coin collecting alive and beating strong. For new collectors watching this video, I want to share something important, because the trick to discovering valuable varieties is simple but powerful. You must examine every 1957 D penny under good lighting and with a basic magnifying glass, because the tiniest mint mark, shift, or die crack can make a big difference, and collectors who take time to study each detail often end up finding treasures in the most unexpected places, like old jars of coins from relatives or small random purchases from flea markets in cities like Phoenix or Atlanta, or from little antique corners that people walk past without ever knowing what sits inside. And condition matters more than most people realize, because some 1957 D pennies survived in stunningly sharp detail with glossy surfaces and crisp wheat lines, and when you come across one of those untouched beauties, it feels like stepping back into the 1950s, holding a piece of history that somehow avoided decades of heavy circulation. And these high-grade pieces are always in strong demand at auctions, and collectors love competing for them, because once they enter a collection they rarely come back out again, and that constant demand keeps the excitement around this coin strong even today. As we move toward the last part of this journey, imagine the shock of someone who finds a rare doubled mint mark or a crisp uncirculated penny tucked away in an old coin roll purchased from a small shop in Dallas, or from a random estate sale in Portland. In the moment they realize what they're holding, their heart starts racing, because these pennies are more than copper, they're time travelers carrying decades of American history, and each rare variety discovered today feels like uncovering treasure that waited patiently for the right collector to appreciate its beauty and value. And now the moment every collector waits for: the original market value price for the rare, high-grade, and valuable varieties of the 1957 D Lincoln wheat penny. Because when these special pieces appear in major auctions in cities like Chicago or New York, they have been sold for as much as $4,000, in words $4,000, depending on their rarity, condition, and type of error. Coin number 9. The moment you hear the name 1950 D Lincoln wheat penny, you may think it's just another old copper cent, but today I'm going to share something that every coin collector should listen to with full attention, because this little coin hides a fascinating story of rarity, historical charm, and surprising value that can turn an ordinary pocket find into a treasure chest of excitement. So stay with me and don't miss a single second, because the uniqueness of this penny, its rare errors, and the way collectors hunt it today will make you feel like you're discovering something truly special for the first time. The 1950 D wheat penny came from the Denver Mint during a time when America was moving through a dramatic period of growth and change, and coins from this era carry their own special identity that collectors love. Even though millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in the sharp, crisp condition collectors want today, making the beautifully preserved examples extremely desirable. When you hold a 1950 D wheat penny, you are holding a piece of history that has traveled across the country for more than 7 decades, touched by thousands of hands, yet still shining with its original wheatback charm and classic Lincoln portrait that never loses its magic with time. This coin becomes even more fascinating when we look at the unexpected errors that occurred during its production, because these mistakes are exactly what transforms an ordinary cent into a valuable collectible that can excite any coin lover. Some 1950 D pennies were struck off-center, giving them a dramatic misalignment that instantly attracts buyers, because errors like these occur rarely and each one becomes a unique piece of art made by accident. Then there are coins with repunched mint marks, where the Denver Mint Mark D was stamped more than once, creating a doubled or shadow-like effect under magnification that collectors absolutely love, because it shows the human side of minting during that era. There are also lightly struck coins where the details of Lincoln's coat or the wheat stalks on the reverse appear soft or faint, giving them a special visual personality that makes a collector stop and pay attention, because such variations stand out immediately from regular coins. The thrill of searching for this coin is one of the biggest attractions for collectors, because the 1950 D penny still pops up in old jars, estate boxes, inherited collections, and antique markets, and every time someone finds a sharp-looking example, the excitement is like discovering hidden treasure. And because so many people today are learning about rare wheat pennies, the demand for the 1950D has increased, making it a hot pick for anyone who wants to build a valuable copper collection that grows stronger with time. When a collector gets their hands on a glossy red example or a shiny red-brown piece, they feel a special kind of joy, knowing they've captured a rare survivor that has held onto its original beauty. That thrill is what makes this coin a favorite among beginners and advanced collectors alike, because it is affordable for starters but becomes incredibly valuable in high grades, making it a perfect coin for long-term collecting. For collectors who are serious about finding the best 1950D wheat penny, there are a few simple but powerful tips that can help you spot a premium quality coin instantly. First, always look closely at Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat, because the sharper the lines appear, the higher the grade and the higher the value, and this is where the difference between an average find and an exceptional treasure truly shows. Also pay close attention to the mint mark D, because many valuable errors are connected with its repunching, and spotting a doubled mint mark can turn an ordinary penny into something that attracts the attention of dealers and auction buyers. Examine the wheat stalks at the back, because bold lines, smooth curves, and clean edges indicate strong strikes that serious collectors love to pay more for. And if you ever find one that looks unusually shiny or untouched, protect it immediately, because untouched surfaces can be the key to turning it into a high-value sale. Collectors across the country continue to chase this coin because auction houses in cities like New York, Denver, Chicago, and Dallas have sold sharp examples for impressive prices in recent years, especially those with rare striking errors or bright red surfaces that look almost new even after all these decades. Local coin shops, antique markets, and even small-town coin fairs eagerly look for clean 1950D wheat pennies, because the demand never goes down and these coins always find a buyer who loves the charm of classic American copper collectibles. And now let's talk about the original market value of this coin, the part every collector waits for, because this is where the excitement becomes real and inspiring. A regular circulated 1950D wheat penny usually sells for just a few dollars in the collector market, often around $3 to $5 depending on its sharpness, but the story changes completely when the coin is found in high grade, because a mint state example can reach hundreds and sometimes even go above $1,000 in major auctions, especially when a rare error is included. Some beautifully preserved examples with repunched mint marks have even crossed the $2,000 mark in well-known coin markets across the United States when collectors competed for the finest pieces. If you want your coin collecting journey to be full of excitement, discovery, and real financial growth, then the 1950D wheat penny is the perfect piece to add to your collection, because it carries history, uniqueness, rarity, and value all in one small copper coin that continues to impress collectors even today. So keep searching, keep learning, and you might be the next person to uncover a shining example that could surprise you with its beauty and value. Here is the price in words as you asked. A circulated piece is worth around $3 to $5, and a mint state example can reach up to $1,000 or more, and rare error varieties have sold for more than $2,000 in major auctions. Coin number 10. The moment you hear the year 1956 and the Denver mint mark on a Lincoln wheat penny, collectors immediately feel a spark of excitement, because this coin may look simple at first glance, but hidden within its copper surface lies a story of history, rarity, and subtle minting surprises that make it highly sought after by collectors around the world. And today I want you to listen carefully, because every word I share will help you understand why the 1950D penny is one of those coins that can completely thrill a coin lover, and why each detail could make the difference between an ordinary penny and a rare collectible treasure that could turn up in a jar, a drawer, or at a flea market waiting to be discovered. The 1950D Lincoln wheat penny comes from a period when the Denver Mint was producing millions of pennies each year, but despite the massive numbers, certain errors and unique variations slipped through, creating a fascinating playground for collectors and coin hunters, because some of these coins feature subtle repunched mint marks, doubled lettering, and slight die cracks that make each coin feel like it has a personality of its own. And the thrill of spotting one of these varieties is what keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins at local markets, estate sales, and even old family collections, with their hearts racing in anticipation of that rare find. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1950D penny is the repunched mint mark variety, where the Denver D was stamped more than once, leaving a doubled or shadow effect that is subtle but unmistakable under a magnifying glass. And this small detail instantly transforms a common copper cent into a highly collectible piece that can attract attention from dealers and auction houses across the country. And the excitement grows even more when you see a coin with crisp wheat stalks and sharp Lincoln details, because high-grade examples are extremely rare. And every one of them feels like holding a piece of history that has survived more than 60 years. Collectors also pay attention to striking errors like misaligned dies, weak strikes, And die cracks on the 1956 D penny because these natural minting imperfections add uniqueness and value that ordinary pennies simply do not have, and the satisfaction of finding a coin that carries one of these characteristics is unmatched because it combines the beauty of copper, the charm of Lincoln's portrait, and the thrill of knowing that this coin escaped the minting process perfectly by accident, making it both a collector's joy and a small piece of American history preserved for future generations. For those serious about coin collecting, the tips are simple but incredibly effective, and one of the most important is to examine every 1956 D penny with good lighting and a magnifying glass because subtle doubling on the mint mark, tiny die cracks, or slight imperfections on the wheat stalks can dramatically increase its value, and collectors who are patient enough to check each detail are often rewarded with coins that are more valuable than they ever imagined. And another tip is to always look for high-grade examples with bold copper tones and clean surfaces because these coins rarely appear in the market, and when they do, collectors across cities like New York, Chicago, Denver, and Los Angeles compete fiercely to acquire them for their collections. The 1956 D penny also shines because it combines history and rarity in a single coin, making it not just a collectible, but a story, a treasure, and an investment all in one small copper piece. And when you hold a well-preserved example, you can almost feel the journey it took from the mint to your hands, passing through decades of circulation and careful collection by people who valued it before you. And that emotional connection is exactly why collectors continue to search relentlessly for these pennies, sharing tips, showing them off in coin shows, and competing in auctions to secure the most pristine examples that remain in demand even today. And now the part every collector waits for: the original market value price for the rare, high-grade, and error varieties of the 1956 D Lincoln wheat penny, because in circulated condition these coins typically sell for around $2 to $5, but high-grade examples with sharp details, strong red or red brown surfaces, or rare repunched mint marks can reach hundreds of dollars at coin shows and auctions, and some exceptional varieties have been sold in major auctions across New York, Denver, and Los Angeles for as much as $1,000 and words $1,000 depending on their condition and type of error, making this coin a highly desirable and thrilling addition to any collection.